Hi, day one of the Chakra Divination Challenge. And the question is well, the prompt is today find balance by. So I used the Chrysalis Tarot, and two cards jumped out. So I had to use the two cards. The first one is the Ace of Stones. Very interesting to find balance because this is one of my main aims through obviously we're not talking about chakras yet, but my base chakra, I've had difficulties rooting into this earth, and this is such a root card. I read some of the book because my aim is to learn too about the cards. So I could have marked the page. It's alright. Ace of Stones. One thing that interested me about this Ace of Stones is that the stone is actually a Noralite 23 crystals. It doesn't mean anything to me. Well, it didn't before I read um, this book. So I just read a little bit. Uh, so the Auralite 23 crystal, like those in the Ace of Stones, contains minerals associated with unblocking or clearing all 7 chakras. How interesting! Oh, I think we're going to work perfectly together. Auralite 23 is known as the paradigm shifter. So then they talk about the chakras. And they're saying that there's other cards that are linked to chakra clear. You see, I didn't know how to use this tarot, and straight away it puts me straight into chakras, and I already love it. Right. The Ace of Stones reminds you to plan your path thoughtfully and diligently, and that I will do through this challenge. It marks a new beginning and a new way of perceiving the abundance of information presented by the minor arcana. Of all chrysalis archetypes, few can match the healing energy or synchronicity generated by the Ace of Stones. Right. So there's another thing that I noticed as soon as I looked at it is the sun rays, and this got such a healing feeling. You can also see there's figures in this stone, so I feel like I could talk to that stone and see what, or listen to the stone and see what it has to say to me. So it's a very earthy daylight card. So my balance will start with being grounded, rooted, maybe walk in the sun a little bit, although I'm waiting for it today. I might not be able to do it today. We just got a rainy weekend. Um, and be a little bit in nature. So I was thinking, looking at this card, I was thinking where I could go, where there's a stone, where I could just sit on it and listen to it for a little while or take its energy. That would be a thing to do to manifest this card. The second one that came, other end of the spectrum, is the moon. And as you can see, there's a person there on the island. That's the first thing I saw. I mean, that moon looks like it was taken from an old book, like you've got an old book that you don't use anymore or whatever. It's got illustrations and you cut it in the shape of the moon. You cut a page in the shape of the moon, and then you do a collage with it. And it looks like a map with that moon there, like a bit like the star, you know, when you follow the star. Well, this card I feel is telling me follow the moon, and I'm doing this because I'm doing another daily work is with well, it's my primary work. It's with Sylvia, moon coach Sylvia on Facebook, and we work with cards on each phase of the moon with it's very astrology based, but I'm not very literate in astrology and I can follow because we use cards, so that's my strength. um, and bit by bit I'm learning about the signs too, which is nice, and it reminds me a little bit of that is absorbing, look at the way he is, in a way he's stranded, and in another way that person seems to be linked to that moon. So from the earth where he is now, that bit of earth, it's not much, it's a little bit of grounding, it's not that crazy grounding, but it shows my grounding maybe. And then with the moon just encompassing everything. So what does the booklet say about the moon? I don't know if you can hear the church bells. It's Sunday. Um, the moon in a reading can be a life-changing card. Another one. I've got two life-changing cards. There you go. I'm. That's day one of the challenge. Life change. I want that. You know. Then I have to be careful because life changing can be painful too. Even if it's good, it can be painful. It can teach you how to listen to your inner voice, the voice of the Great Mother, and lead you to a place of great trust in her. Great. The blam blam. Many cards in Chrysalis help develop the intuitive skills we all have. Oh, that's perfect. Uh, as those skills develop, so does the sixth sense of clairsentience, which is the art of feeling knowledge. Great. So I will get knowledge, and so I have to find my balance, right? I have to ground again. I have to link with a stone at some point and really go in the sun too, right? Because the sun is clearing. And yet, on the other side, I've got the moon, and I have to listen and be inspired and work with that moon phase and work with astrology. So basically, I feel like I'm in a yin and yang, and very interesting. I'm working this month about my masculine and feminine side, and I want to integrate them because I've noticed that I'm using my masculine side a lot in everyday life, and there's a point that I want to be that woman in me and not just always charge and um, not that women can't charge, but you know what I mean, the more masculine energy, I use it a lot. And I feel these cards talk to me a lot about this, about integrating the two, which is the work I'm doing now. So there's many layers. And well, that was my day one about finding balance by grounding and also following my intuition. Two things today. So I see you soon.